What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In today's videos, we're jumping into the brand new X-Men From the Ashes with NYX, or if you prefer, NYX issue number 1, the New York City X-Men. As we come out of the first Krakoan age, we're picking up with Ms. Marvel, and during the fall of Krakoa, she had learned that she is a mutant. In coming to terms with this new identity, she's trying to figure things out, but we're also learning that there is a lot of mutant hate still. After Orcus ramped up the entire populace, there's a lot of anger with a lot of people, and while Ms. Marvel would love to go to school, she would love to try to be a normal young adult. It's almost seeming like this is impossible, but she is going to quickly learn that there is going to be need for an X-Men team. So, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we have Ms. Marvel making her way across town. Right now, she's late for class, but while she's running across the city in her gigantic form, she's also on the phone with Bruno, or at least his voicemail, just kind of catching him up and catching the reader up on what is currently going on with Ms. Marvel. She's back enrolled at ESU, and they have some new curriculum, one that is going to be completely mutant-centric, and even more, it's being taught by a former X-Men, an individual who lived through the Krakoan age. But saying her goodbyes and hoping to be able to talk to him or even see him soon, she lands in an alleyway, she changes real quick, and she goes to get on campus. This is where she runs into Sophie, bumping into her, knocking all of her books out of her hand. Luckily, because of her power set, those books don't fall very far. But we also see Kamala Khan kind of starstruck, and she gets this way a lot, being a big fan of Sophie. Sophie picks her up off the ground, and the two of them begin to have a conversation. And the two of them, they both know one another. Oh, everybody knows who Kamala Khan is, with her big coming out party before the fall. It was a big day of trauma. Every mutant knows Kamala Khan's name, for better or for worse. But Sophie does admit that she never got the code name Ms. Marvel, wondering if she was just like a super fan of Jean Grey or something. But this is when Sophie kinda takes her under her wing. Both of them headed to their mutant class. And though Sophie lived through Krakoa, she was there on the island. She wants to go just to see what they're gonna say and to make sure that whoever the professor is staying honest. And so as they make their way inside the classroom, this is where we see the professor speaking to all of the students. The professor is Prodigy, and he is currently giving a lecture saying that at the heart of all of this, mutants were an endangered community. But one thing they did above all else, they were protecting its oppressor. This is something that is inarguable. No matter what some people might think, no matter the government of the United States financing the creation and actual deployment of giant killer robots against the mutant population, mutants were killed and they were hunted. And yet mutants still protected, saying that this was Charles' dream, that they take it, and they do so forever, that Krakoa was always inevitable. But what was Krakoa? What will it become as its cultural institutions, its language, its religion integrates with the human world? This is when Sophie interrupts him, asking Prodigy if this is how it's really gonna be, writing the gravestones before the bodies are even cold. She's known Prodigy all the way since Westchester, and so if he's gonna build an ivory tower, she's gonna throw some rocks at it. And so as the two of them sit down and Prodigy finishes up his lecture, we pick up later that evening, the two of them deciding to go out, or Sophie kind of dragging Ms. Marvel out. Sophie is really taking her under her wing, making her her best friend, and now they're going out for a night on the town, something that is not usual for Kamala, but helping Kamala get into something that's a little more club fitting. They quickly get into the club and make their way in, and they run into the mutant bartender. ANOLE, once working at the former bar known as the Green Lagoon, he now finds himself here. The two of them order drinks, they begin to have a little bit of fun. It doesn't take long for trouble to come knocking. With ANOLE being so visibly mutant, we have these individuals that refer to themselves as the Truth Seekers, trying to uncover the truth of mutant terrorists. This is what we mean when we talk about Orcus stirring up so much trouble, so many problems, so much propaganda, and so now normal, ordinary people are terrified of mutants. Obviously, those the most in danger are ones that can't hide that they're a mutant. Luckily, he's not the only mutant here tonight, having Sophie and Kamala Khan. Kamala shifts her face to hide her identity, and the two of them waste no time kicking some butt. But as the two of them fight and take down these Truth Seekers, which honestly wasn't much of a fight for them, Kamala had accidentally hit the bouncer, and in doing so, the bouncer kicks her and Sophie out, saying that they have implemented a new rule. No more mutants are allowed in the bar. And so we're seeing that mutant hate, mutant discrimination, it's really at an all-time high. Now, Kamala didn't even really want to come out tonight. This wasn't really her thing. She wasn't really feeling it. And now after all of this happening, she feels like she's got to go out and do something. And so she suits up as Miss Marvel and she heads out. She goes to try to stop somebody, to deal with anything. Now, while she's out doing all of this, she calls Prodigy. She knows that Prodigy is the weird skills X-Men, asking if he knows how to hack a phone. She was able to get a phone from the Truth Seekers, but she's unable to get the facial recognition correct. She needs to find a way to hack into this thing. She needs to try and prove what they're doing and that they're trying to pin all of these attacks that are ongoing on mutants. She needs to prove that they have future plans to do this. But when the phone call is interrupted, we see standing above Kamala Khan is X-23, aka Wolverine. Now, Wolverine is letting Kamala Khan know that what she is doing is chasing ghosts, that she needs to go home before she gets hurt, explaining that her, X-23, is an actual hero. She's the one out here looking out for people, ones that fall through the cracks. Right now, people are preying on mutants every single day, and you have Kamala Khan out here starting bar fights, sitting in class while the real work is being done. Wolverine is simply letting her know that she is not ready for this. But this is where Kamala stands up for herself, saying that Wolverine is not going to lecture her about starting fights. But she says that she is definitely trying to help their people, that she also has a family, and school, and even more school, and now a new best friend trying to live up to all the expectations of everybody in her life, and she still fights for what is right. That being a mutant doesn't mean you can't have a life. Wolverine warns her that this city is about to explode. Mutants and humans, everything that has happened. She tells Kamala to get ready or get dead. Now, Kamala knows that Wolverine, in her own way, is really just worried about her, kind of being a big sister to her, trying to be overprotective with her. But as Kamala heads off, she had a little bit of a lead, and this lead, it leads her to an explosion, a giant detonation, an amphitheater that looks like it is about to collapse, had Miss Marvel not jumped inside and begun to hold up the ceiling. She believes that this is the Truth Seekers, that she is not going to let them pin another accident or another attack on mutant kind. But this is when Miss Marvel hears a voice. She hears the voice of the new villain known as the Krakoan. He says that he is here to be Krakoa's vengeance. This infuriates Kamala even more because this is a mutant that is doing all of this. The Krakoan is letting her know that you stand with us. You fight for the vengeance of Krakoa, or you stand against us. As the two of them battle, the Krakoan using his powers to throw trains full of people. Kamala obviously having to rush and save these people, trying to make sense of this, trying to talk to the Krakoan, trying to say the Krakoa is gone, that all they have left is each other. all they have left is this city. But in all of the chaos, the Krakoan is able to escape. He makes a run for it. And in making his run for it, we pick up a little bit later. We pick up with Sophie and Kamala. Now, Sophie called really just to let her know that she apologizes for everything that happened. That she came on a little strong, she pressured her a little too much. But with the two of them making up, parting ways for the day, we pick up later on. We pick up with the Krakoan returning back to the giant tower that he resides in. We learn that he is not the one in charge. The Krakoan is taking orders because they are chasing power. They are chasing the new Krakoan age. They plan to have their island back. They plan to have everything that they want. They plan to be the new Quiet Council. This is where it is revealed that the Krakoan, he was formerly Hellion, a telekinetic. We see that the Stefford sisters, all but Sophie, are here. And the one sitting upon the throne is the mind controller known as Empath. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Alright, so you guys know I'm not a Ms. Marvel fan. I honestly don't even remember what her mutant power was, or if they even brought up what her mutant power would be. But to be fair, I didn't read any of the comics connected to her during the Mutant Menace comic. I think someone told me that they did reveal her power, and I'm pretty sure it was lame. So you guys, like I said, obviously know how I already feel about Ms. Marvel, but I do want to cover this comic. It seems like it has some potential. It's going to use some fun characters, even if I'm not a fan of Ms. Marvel, not a fan of her being a mutant, you know, because she's got the whole mutant thing going on, then she's got the whole Inhumans thing going on. Like, it feels like they're just doing too much with her. But there's some interesting aspects to this story, like I was saying. It has some potential to be a lot of fun. The Krakoan was kind of my only real sell on it, and they revealed him very quickly. It appears that there are many mutants that are simply not done with Krakoa. This is almost like a new brotherhood, if you will. But it's going to be quite interesting to see if any of the X-Men, like Cyclops or Beast or even Magneto, are going to come and interfere with what's going on. Because this can jeopardize all mutants if you have a mutant terrorist cell, if you will. You know, something the X-Men constantly fought against. Which I guess maybe they're trying to recreate with this comic. Seems kind of derivative, a little unfortunate that if that's the direction that they want to go with all this. And if they're doing that and you like the story, you know, super awesome, more props to you. That's just not what I'm looking for when it comes to the X-Men comics. But like I said, we're going to see where this goes. Issue 1 wasn't bad. A little bit of character building, a little bit of friendship building, a little bit of understanding the players that are going to have a role moving forward, as I assume Ms. Marvel is going to create an New York branch X-Men team, if you will. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that is going on with this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.